Primetime hidden cameras take you into a doctor's office, and you'll get a chance to see what we catch.
I will reassure you we'll take great care of you.
Okay.
Okay?
This doctor is about to perform surgery on her. Surgery experts tell us she should never have. Tonight, Chris Wallace investigates the most popular elective surgery in this country, LASIK eye surgery. How often do doctors operate on patients whose eyes might be seriously damaged forever?
You told her that she was a good candidate, and you were moments away from operating on her.
And take a look at this, the strange and confusing way Jeff Hockman often sees the world now. A disorienting blur of lights and signs and traffic.
There were nights where I cried myself to sleep. And I said, you know, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Like thousands of other people, he wishes someone had warned him.
It makes you feel betrayed and violated, and like somebody, you know, somebody's hurt you.
From ABC News, this is Primetime Thursday with Diane Sawyer and Charles Gibson. Primetime Thursday. We'll be back after this brief message. And now from New York, Diane Sawyer.
Good evening. We're glad to have you with us. We begin with an important primetime investigation into the most popular elective surgery in America. Every week, nearly 40,000 people choose to have LASIK eye surgery, a quick procedure that promises you can throw away your glasses. Tonight, come along with our undercover cameras as we show you what can happen, how some people may not be good candidates for the surgery, but some doctors may do it anyway. Senior correspondent Chris Wallace investigates the quest for perfect vision.
You're watching hidden camera footage of a doctor moments away from performing LASIK surgery on a patient experts say should not have the procedure.
80% of our patients see 20/20 or better.
They say her vision could be seriously hurt, but the doctor never tells her of the danger.
I will reassure you we'll take great care of you.
Okay.
Okay?
Approved by the federal government just 6 years ago, LASIK has grown from a medical miracle into a $2 billion industry. Some 2 million people are expected to have the operation this year alone.
When performed well on the right person, it's a great surgery. You're going to feel some pressure on your eye.
Dr. Joseph Dello Russo is one of the best-known LASIK surgeons in New York City. But these days, Dello Russo spends more and more of his time in what's becoming a new specialty, repairing work done by other doctors.
It is a new specialty, unfortunately. And the number of people who are being harmed is going to accumulate every year.
So why does LASIK sometimes go so wrong? Well, experts tell us in at least half the problem cases, the key is not how the surgery is done, but who's getting it. It turns out not everyone with vision problems should have LASIK. And if you're a bad candidate and still have the procedure, the results can be devastating.
Basically, every aspect of my life, I need some help from someone to get through just day-to-day things that I normally was able to do alone.
A primetime investigation has found many cases of people like these, who learned after the fact they never should have had the surgery.
I just want to go to bed. I just want to sleep, because that's when my eyes are closed and I don't have to deal with what I see.
Stock trader Jeff Hockman's case is typical. He had LASIK after being told he was an excellent candidate. He's had bad vision problems ever since, especially at night.
When there's a lot of cars on the road and there's a lot of headlights coming at me, I see a lot of starbursts and a lot of glare.
Last October, Hockman went to see a new doctor, Dello Russo, for help. And there, he got some startling news. When you checked out his eyes, was Jeff Hockman a good candidate for LASIK?
No.
Never should have had the...
Never should have had it done.
I feel like I'm wearing a permanently bad pair of contact lenses, which I wish I could take off at night, and I can't.
If you're looking for the problems before surgery, it's not very difficult to find them at all.
Dr. Barry Soloway of the New York Eye and Ear Infirmary explained what makes someone a bad candidate. Jeff Hockman's problem, large pupils. If they're bigger than the area hit by the laser as it reshapes the eye, the patient will see out of both the treated and untreated areas and can end up with double vision and glare. Another common problem, if the cornea is too thin, it can be damaged by the laser.
Because we're removing tissue, the cornea might get too thin and start changing its shape just because of lid movement or pressure in the eye.
I've heard that story hundreds of times.
Ron Link says too many people have paid the price for poor LASIK screening. Link used to be a fireman until his eyes were damaged from surgery. He started a website called surgicaleyes.com. Link says he knows of more than 1,400 what he calls LASIK disasters.
It's just been a tidal wave of misery all over an elective procedure, something medically unnecessary.
Open both eyes and look straight ahead.
To make matters even worse, there's very little doctors can do to help those patients after LASIK. Usually, the damage is permanent. So why are doctors operating on people who are bad candidates?
They just want to do the surgery.
What do you mean they want to do the surgery?
Want to make money. This can be a very lucrative procedure if you do enough.
But I mean, we're talking about people's eyes. We're talking about their vision for the rest of their life.
Right. Right. They don't care. They just don't care.
Dello Russo says with big corporations running high-volume clinics, some doctors end up making decisions based on business, not medicine. Using our hidden cameras, we wanted to see how hard it is to find a surgeon ready to operate on someone who's a bad candidate for LASIK. It didn't take us long.
You can do the surgery on my eye?
A number of surgeons said, we can't operate on you. There's too much of a risk. You were ready to go, sir.
Prime Time continues. And now, Charles Gibson.
As we have said, LASIK surgery is a quick and effective procedure that has let millions of people throw away their glasses. But for some people, the surgery carries great danger. So we decided to send in a high-risk patient with our hidden cameras, watching whether doctors would be willing to operate on her. Chris Wallace picks up the story.
Stacy Simon is a mother of two who runs a daycare center in New Jersey. Like millions of Americans, she wanted to have LASIK eye surgery to get rid of contacts that she says are a nuisance.
The children are finding it very funny that I'm constantly popping my eyes out, and it interferes.
Take a picture of their eye here.
She went to see New York surgeon Joseph Dello Russo. But after checking her eyes, he told Stacy she should not have LASIK. Not now, not ever.
She was a perfect non-candidate, absolute non-candidate.
We're not talking, one doctor says one thing, one...
She's not borderline. She absolutely cannot be treated with LASIK.
We wanted to see for ourselves if there are doctors who would operate on someone who experts say is clearly a bad candidate for LASIK surgery. Someone who could be hurt by the procedure. You might think that checking out your eyes before an operation would be done with great care, but not always. Stacy became our test candidate. She went to another LASIK expert, Dr. Barry Soloway, for a second opinion. Like Dello Russo, he found her pupils are enormous and her corneas are very thin.
Off the charts. I mean, should not have LASIK surgery, period, end of the story.
Now we sent Stacy to a number of LASIK centers in New York with a hidden camera. Several clinics told her she shouldn't have the procedure. But then Stacy went to a surgeon who was ready to operate on her.
So I can have this done?
Yes, you can.
I'm a good candidate?
You are.
Dr. Vikas Jan flies between Illinois, Ohio, and New York performing LASIK. Advertising heavily in newspapers, Jan offers the procedure for as little as $399 per eye, less than a quarter of the average price of